Good evening, everybody. Neil here from AS CAD Services. I specialise in all things advanced still, so training and customization, as well as drafting, so I'm at the pointy end as well. This video is part 2 of a 2-part series, and it addresses the BIM Level 2 numbering in advanced still. And what we did in the first video was we changed the prototype to reflect the requirements of the document numbering in BIM Level 2. And what we'll do, we'll just go back to that a minute, and I'm going to, I may have some drawings in here already. Let's have a look. No, yes, let's get rid of that one a sec. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new drawing, and this is a camera, and it's a 3D isometric view, of course. And I'm going to use cameras selected A1. Now this looks a bit different to yours. Yours will look more like this, for instance. Okay, so you would use cameras selected or all cameras, one or the other. I'm going to use mine. Works pretty much the same. So I'm going to go cameras selected A1, and I'm just going to click OK. And away it goes. So let's have a look at that a minute. Let's open this, GA, and there's our drawing number there. So what we did in the first video, we edited the title block and we created this drawing number. And how we created it, we use an attribute for TS2, which is the project number, and we used in the model, we used the attribute project number in here. The ASC is just text in the drawing number, and this is the identifier for the originator. Well, I'm ASCS, AS CAD Services, so this is the identifier, my company identifier. 06, again, we used one of the attributes in here. I use this one here, which is actually building as the attribute, and this one here is building location. So I use these two. So this was an attribute, and this is the volume number. That could be 2, 3 digits, whatever. So remember, when you create this, leave room for your numbers. This one here is the level 1, and again it was an attribute. DRX is text in the drawing prototype, because this rarely changes. DR is denotes a 2D drawing, and X denotes the role, in this case subcontractor. X is subcontractor, and then we've got the drawing number itself. So this is 0001, so 4 digits. It could be 5 digits. We can change this, and I'll show you how to do this. And this is the revision index. Well, it's a dash at the moment, because in management tools, if I look in there and I go into defaults and I type revision, you'll see there, look, revision index used for details before any revision. So it's a dash, but I could make that a whatever I want in there. So I got a dash there, or I could edit the prototype again, and I can have the revision appended to the end of the drawing number there. So instead of having its own box, this would then say dash A. So I can change those things. But for now, I'll just leave this as it is. So there's my drawing number. So we'll close it. And what we're going to do today, we're going to address this issue. So if I go to the Output ribbon and Document Manager, you can see that there is the preview of my drawing, and the drawing number is according to BIM Level 2. There it is. But the drawing number in the Document Manager is GA0001 brackets A1, which is the prototype size, and we want to change this. We want this number to be in here, and it's quite a simple way of doing it. So what we're going to do, we're going to close it. The other thing I said to you yesterday is we edited, so if I go to output ribbon and I go to edit prototypes, we changed our GA A1 and we edited this. Now the downside of that is every time I do a drawing that requires an A1, whichever one it is, it's going to use the BIM Level 2 numbering system. Well, that isn't always what we want to do. Maybe the project we're doing isn't BIM Level 2, it's just a standard project. We want standard numbering. If we use that prototype and we didn't fill out all of the attributes in here, we'd end up with lots of blank spaces in the drawing number. So not ideal. So what we'll do, let's go to the prototypes again, and I'm going to go to this one here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to paste it. So there it is there, look. But I'm going to change the name of this, and instead of UK, I'm going to call that BIM. Sorry, beg your pardon, I use capitals. BIM, there. Bosh. And we're going to go OK. Alright, so I've created a copy of my standard GA, and what I'll do in time, I'll go back into the GA, I'll put the numbering back as it should be, but for now I'm not going to trouble you with that. So this now is a copy, so this one here, if I open it, this is the one with the BIM numbering. So let's close that. Of course, if I were to click on this, select cameras, select the camera, select the cameras, it's going to put it on my original GA. And the reason it's going to do that is because of the drawing process. So we're going to go to the output ribbon and we're going to make some changes. We're going to go to the output ribbon drawing process manager, beg your pardon, process manager, and this is the one that you would be using. I use this one, but I'm going to edit this one. And the reason it uses the GA is this. The main step here says camera selected A1. And then we've got this thing here called a file name selector. And it says again, camera page full A1. So it's going to fill up the page with drawings. It's a general arrangement. It'll keep putting drawings on until there's no more room. Then it'll create a new one. So this actually says when you get to the end, go on and do it and open a new drawing. But in here, it says here, look, close the page on page 4. So that means it carries on, it will open a new drawing and a new drawing and a drawing until it's done all the general arrangement drawings. But what it's doing is using this prototype. Okay, so UK GAA1, which is fair enough. But we want it to use the new one we created, BOM. Well, if I change it in here, that would then be reflected on everywhere it uses an A1. It will then use, and it's using this and using this, it will be using my prototype. So again, it's not ideal. So what we want to do, we want to create an entirely new drawing process specifically for drawings for BIM Level 2 projects. So what we're going to do, we're going to come to this one here, look, camera selected A1. Drawing processes, it's in the user options, not the advanced options. We won't be able to change these are locked. So we're going to go to the user options. Yours won't say camera, yours may say something different. Yours will probably say, let's have a look. Yeah, so your cameras will be in here, look. All right, it's just I've categorized mine slightly differently. That's the only difference. So we're going to go into our selected cameras A1, and I'm going to right click with the mouse, copy. We don't use deep copy, don't fall for that one. I see so many people use deep copy and your whole database is a crammed full copy of absolutely everything. We don't need to do that. We're just going to go copy, and you can see it's going to create a new one. Yours will say copy dash cameras selected A1. This, I've changed this in my management tools so it comes up with AS, but I'm going to change this and we're just going to call this BIM. Okay, BIM cameras selected A1. Next, done. Okay, so here is our new process, drawing process, but it's still using everything from the original selected cameras A1. Okay, so we need to make some other changes, and the first thing I'm going to do, the main step, I'm going to create a new main step, so it's only specific to this drawing process. And how we do that, we click on the little icon there, the plus icon. It'll do a copy. Yours will say copy blah blah blah. So I'm going to go BIM, and yours will default to I'm not sure what it will default to, I'll have a look in a minute, but whatever the default is, you're going to leave yours as is. Okay, and sorry, that's the category. Yours will, yeah, yours will just be in cameras, of course. These categories here, look, they relate to the categories I've got on the left here. So they relate to these, look, detail cameras, elevation cameras. Okay, so we made a copy of this. That's fine. First step. So we've now got a new drawing process. We've got a new main step here, and it's got some information in the main step telling it what to do, but it's still using this. Okay, so we need to change this. And what we're going to do is no point in changing it in here, because wherever that's used in the system, anywhere else, it will use our new BIM drawing prototype. So what we're going to do, we're going to make a copy of this as well. We're going to rename this. So we're going to do another copy there. So we're going to file name selector on the left here, look, copy, and it will come up. Yours will say copy dash cameras blah blah blah. Mine says AS because I changed it. So we're now going to call this BIM cameras page for A1, and we're going to go next. Now let's go apply. So now this isn't going to interfere with any of the other drawing processes. This is specific to this BIM camera selected A1 drawing process. Okay, this is specific to this drawing process. The file name selector is specific to this drawing process. So we can change this now to our new drawing prototype, the one we made the copy of, BIM-GA-A1, and apply. So whenever we use this drawing process now, it is going to use this. Now you'll notice the drawing name is slightly different. It's a G instead of GA. I'm going to leave that a minute so we can see this working. And the other thing I'm going to do, if I go into cameras, click on the heading, as I said, yours is just cameras, it's not one dash cameras. And you can see there's our new drawing process. So to enable it in this drop down, we need to tick this and then apply. Then OK, we can close it. However, oh, it's not there. Doesn't matter how many times I update the databases, it will not be there. If I close this, update the databases, and open it again, it's still not there. I don't know if they changed that in 2022 version. I'd have to check it. But to get that to update, I'm going to save my file. I'm going to close Advanced still. I'm going to reopen it. I'm using 2021. Incidentally, I've got 3 versions there. Look, 20, 21, 22. The reason I do that is because I offer support to clients, and I support 3 versions. It's strange really how you quickly forget what the old versions used to do. So if somebody came to me with a 2016 version, probably have to scratch my head a bit. Not that I've got it on the system anymore anyway. So anyway, right, here we are. Look. So let's open this now, and we go to the UK, and there's my new drawing process. So here we go again. So what I'm going to do is select this, and this time I'm going to select this one. This is going to come up, process properties. We're going to say OK, and it's going to create a drawing, and we will open the document manager, And there it is there. I left this as default so we could see that this is actually using the new prototype, not the old one. There was the original one. Here's the new one. And if we open the drawing, there's the number. Okay. But we still haven't addressed the issue of this not reflecting the number on the drawing. So that's next phase there. So we want this number in here. It's quite simple to do that. Okay, I've been doing some work with ME Nester, and we've had a little play with this. ME Nester is one of the engineers, software engineers with Autodesk. And we've come to the conclusion that if I look in the Drawing Process Manager, I'll leave this here a second, we're going to come back to this in a minute. If I go into the Drawing Process Manager, and again, user, don't forget, drawing processes, cameras, there's my new one. And if we look in the file name selector here and open it, properties, you can see this is how the drawing number is made up, drawing name. So in Document Manager, this is what we see. So there's the G we had at the beginning. Then this flat is the actual drawing number. Then in brackets, it's the prototype that was used. Now, if I click on this arrow to the right, we've also got some attributes that we can use in here. So we've got flat number, part number, sequence number, blah, blah, blah. So we can use these. And just by clicking on it, it would put that attribute into the drawing name. But none of these reflect the actual attributes that we used. Because I used project number. And if you recall from the first video, if you've not already seen it, go and watch it now. This one here, the attribute is building. And this one here is building location. So I use those three: project number, building, building location. I could equally have used these attributes here. Let's get rid of that. So I could have used, this is the execution class. I use that in all of my drawings, execution class. On my assembly drawings, it's got the execution class. But I could have used attribute 2, and I could have made that 06, which would have reflected the volume. And I could have put 01, which would have reflected the level. And in my drawing prototype, I would have the attributes user project attribute 2, project user project attribute 3. In my case, I didn't do that. I used these two, which are building as it happens in everybody else's world bar the UK, and this one says building location. If I use these, I have to remember that these attributes are actually used in cold roll prototypes. So if I'm doing any jobs with cold rolled on and I want to create drawings for the cold roll prototypes, I wouldn't be able to use these, because obviously 06 would be on my cold rolled prototype. So in that case, I'll be forced to use the user attributes. So it makes more sense to use the user attributes in the first place. So let's go back. Output ribbon, Drawing Process Manager, file name selector. So here we are, look, BIM cameras, file name selector, and here it is. So as well as these, we can also use a number of other attributes which we've identified, and these are the ones here. So project, project number, building, building location, and user project attributes 1 through 5. And I can type those straight into here, but what you have to bear in mind is these are case sensitive. If I get the spelling wrong, get the case wrong, they are not going to work. Okay? So let's get rid of that G to start with. I'm going to leave this here so you've got plenty of time to copy these and write them down. Don't forget, case sensitive. So I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need the prototype in there. That's the bit in brackets, brackets A1, whatever. But this is the drawing number, and of course I do need the drawing number. Now I used the attributes. Project number was the first attribute I used. Case sensitive. So I can type it in, and it is project underscore number. If it doesn't work, you've got the spelling wrong. I used to have a biology teacher, and she used to talk about fungi And you say fungi, fungi. I don't mind how you say it as long as you get the spelling right. So that's the only thing I got from biology when I was at school. So here we are, project number. That's the first part. That was the whatever it was, AS2, whatever it was, I had in my project settings. The next bit was just text, wasn't it? And that was the identifier, which is me, which was ASC, and then a separator again. This is just text. Look, I can type text in. So ASC and a separator. The next attribute I used was for the volume, and that was building. So I used the attribute building, so I can type that in. So let's go building, case sensitive, don't forget, and then a separator. And the next one was the level, and I used building location. So we'll type that in. Building underscore location. No, look, I got that wrong. Underscore location. Separator, dash again. And then I had some text, and the text I had in was DR for 2D drawing. Separator was a dash, then X, subcontract, and then a dash, and then the drawing number. Now, we said that in BIM Level 2, the requirement for drawing number be 4 or 5 digits, so we're going to do 4 in this case, so I can change the 2 there, look. The default is 2, I change that to 4. That says 4 digits, 3 leading zeros. And we go, OK. There's our new number. So although it wasn't available in here, there's certain attributes that we've identified, these ones, that you can type straight in. And these are all in your all within the project data settings. Okay, so that's it. So let's get rid of that. Let's save the job. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this camera, and I'm going to use BIM camera selected. I'm going to go OK. And hopefully, fingers crossed, when you get towards the end of a 20-minute video, this is where it all goes wrong. And there it is, look. Ta-da! So let's have a look at that. Let's have a preview. We'll just nip in and have a look at that a minute. So just to prove the point, there it is, look. TS2 ASC 0601 DR-X-0003. Now the only thing that's missing is the revision index on the end. However, if I were to carry out a revision, so I'm going to add a revision, NFB, so let's do capitals, and blah blah blah, whatever it is, and we go OK, and we go OK. This will update, and there it is, look, 003-A. So this is revision A, and if we look on here, there it is. As I said, what I could do, I could edit my prototype if I wanted to, and I could have the revision appended to the drawing number there. So instead of having a box, I'd get rid of that box, have revision here as a attribute, and it would put it on the end there. So that's how we do it, guys. Simple enough. I'll put this here again in a minute while I just close up, just so you can have another opportunity to write those down. User attributes 1 to 5. Notice the actual case is different. These ones here are uppercase. There's a mixture of upper and lower case. You have to get the syntax dead right, or it won't work. The other thing to bear in mind is in Advanced Still 2021, you're limited to 64 characters in the file name, and they changed that in 2022 version and above beyond. You've now got 128 characters, so you can actually put some more attributes into the number. With 2021, you're a bit limited on the number of attributes you can put in. 64 characters AS 2021, 128 characters thereon from 2022. That's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that. Give you a bit more insight into how all this works. Drawing Process Manager, how that works, how it relates to which template you're using, which prototype you're using, beg your pardon, how this works, how we change the file name, create our own prototype, list the prototype here. So that's it. So thanks for your time. Until next time, if anybody's got any problems with this and they want me to do it for them, as I said, I don't work for free, but I don't charge a lot either, so I can do that for you certainly. If you can think of any other videos you want to see, any problems you've got and you'd like to see a video of it, just drop me a line, drop me an email, and I'll have a look at it for you, see what we can do. So until next time guys, thanks for your time, and see you again soon.